From what I've seen, they are if you spread yourself thin. But if you stay in your lane and you stay well grounded and you stay solid and you just follow your path, I'm gonna give you an example. You don't go for certain things. You don't tolerate certain things. You won't let certain things in your world. So then, if you channel that to a road, and you're traveling down that road, you're going one direction. The things that you don't tolerate or won't associate with, they go in other directions. So you're going down this path. So then someone else that's on the same mind frame as you, they're going down the same path. They might be way over here and you might be over here, but eventually y'all paths will align like this because y'all go in the same direction. So when you go in the same direction, you'll see people that's aligned with you doing the same thing or with the same mind frame, same ideology. And that's what keeps you well grounded, staying in your lane versus being spread too thin and getting mixed into everything that's going on with the music. With, you know, it's I hear this all the time. I got people that are into country music and they feel like they got
wave right now.
Yeah. Which everybody's just trying to, it's the same thing I'm saying, you spread yourself thin. So now here it is, you make country music, you think that if you go to Tennessee, you go to Nashville, you're going to get a record deal. But ain't nothing but shysters over there. Ain't nothing but people that's going to get you for your money, lie to you, pretend to be something they not, and then disappear in the wind. And you left holding the bag, or you left empty-handed with a shoestring holding your pants up. You got to stay focused. You got to stay in your lane. You got to stay well grounded. You got to ride your own way.
Now let's take it back to the music. You said that you weren't really taking it that serious when you first started. What is the first step that you took into music that told you to yourself, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm really doing this"?
Honestly, I was DJing for a party for Rick Ross. He came down here, which was my homeboy's birthday party. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. Pierre DeVille, a.k.a. Dick Face, a.k.a. Boss Man, a.k.a. Big P. So what happened was, P hit me up, was like, yo, I want to book Fat Boy for a show. I'm like, all right. So I reached out to him. We set up the deal, boom, boom. So me and Fat Boy went to drive around, so we was in the crib. And then he came down and did the show. They ain't had no DJ. So I was the DJ. I had the records. I smoked the records. And then he was like, man, we need to do a record together. So I'm like, all right, that's what it is. So we ended up doing that record. And then he doubled back on me, was like, man, I need a club in Fort Myers. I need a club. You know what I mean? Set it up. So me and God Bless the Dead, New York, a.k.a. Dominican Don, we shot the day, met up with him. He gave us a whole bunch of promotional material, flyers, posters, whatever. We shot back to Fort Myers, hung him up. We had 24 hours to set up the show. We set up the show. He came through. He did the show. Somewhere in the middle of the show, he was like, shout out to my dog Yummy. And the crowd went, damn. Because I had to do a song already, that the song that me and him had did already. I had performed it for an opening act. Okay. And he was upstairs in the VIP. He was vibing. You know, all them boys, all them Maybach music, they was up there. He was like, yeah, shit live. So then, when he came down, he did his session. And then he was like, shout out to my dog Yummy. And the crowd went, ham. He looked like, okay. So then, when the show was over, we was in the tour bus, and he was like, you signed to Maybach music. We're going to cut a video. We're going to do a blog. We're going to do this and that. Yeah. Yeah. But me and him got history, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was on the run, he hit me out. You know what I'm saying? I took him to my hood and Dade, and he was like, oh, boy, this that crazy. I'm like, yeah. He like, boy, don't you know I got 5 things in the truck? We can't be vibing like this. I was there when he grabbed the white 745 before the rim, before all that. You know what I'm saying? I remember when he spent like $200K on some features. You know, that's what he molded me in the game when it came to, you got to spend money to make money, and you know what I'm saying? You got to deal with people on a level above you if you want to climb. Because if you're on a level with somebody that's with you on the same level as you or under you, you can't go nowhere because they can't show you nothing. You know what I'm saying? But if they vibing with you and they on a higher level, they can say, hey, you know, if you do it like this, you can get this result.
So now you entering the game pretty much at a level that people have worked their whole life to even get to. So where do you go from there? If you're already starting at the top, where do you go from there?
Well, really, the thing about it is this. The game has changed from when I started to now. And in order to quote unquote reach the top, you gotta have a following. And a lot of days, people don't want no content, no substance in music. They want something that they can memorize real quick, catchy, funny.
A hook and a beat.
The beat got to be banging, something they can get high to, and it's entertaining. And a lot of people, they make music that they like, and then they wonder why it don't catch. The reason why it don't catch is because you fail to realize your position in the game. Your position is you're an entertainer. So if you're an entertainer, you're supposed to entertain. It ain't about what you want. It ain't about what
so
you like.
So are you really encouraging for people to follow the wave and not create their own?
No, you can create your own wave, but in a content where it's entertaining, where it attracts. You know, I'm not saying don't be true to yourself, because I don't do auto-tunes. I don't do, if it's a singing part, I hire a singer. If there's
it drives me crazy when rappers do that. Like,
because
and
that's all cool. That's the wave. They follow somebody else's wave. It worked for them. They feel like it can work for them. They pull in the pants leg, one leg at a time like everybody else. So I understand the ideology. I just don't condone it. You know, I feel like I'm from a different era. They might call it old school, whatever the case may be. But I know it's going to come back around. I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, all the styles come back around.
Yeah,
Phil
they all
Collins
come back
in,
around.
so.
That's why the Migos is the top of their game, because they're the trendsetters of that era, of that style. And honestly, it all stems all the way back to Lil Wayne. Wayne, all these people, all this, he don't get it. Bro, don't get the credit, man. And dudes like me, Ross, you know what I'm saying, Kanye, all these other dudes that's in the game, like heavy, and the ones that's up and coming or the ones that's independent, they respect his craft. They know, like, this dude is a lyrical genius. To ever see him live in a studio recording songs coming off the dome like how he do?
He's amazing.
He's a persona of Jay-Z, like, with 10 batteries hooked to him. Like, that wasn't even much play. Ross was like this when he did it. He was like, and we always like.
Speaking of which, so let's go back to your music. So now you're signed to Maybach.
No, I'm not actually. I'm signed to Branson Enterprise.
Meaning back then.
Yeah.
So we're going back to where we left off in the story. So now, you know, the crowd goes crazy. You're signed. Where do you take your career from there?
Well, actually, what happened was I made a big fall, and I ended up the road. And I passed the torch on to my homie now. And I told Fat Boy, I'm like, yo, I'm locked up. I'm gone for a minute. But let them boys take my spot. You know what I'm saying? And I had them on three-way. Everybody was on three-way. You know what I'm saying? And Ross was like, all right, no problem. I'm like, y'all boys hear that? They like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So everybody exchanged phone numbers and information and shit like that. And I'm like, man, I'm gone. I see y'all boys, and whenever they let me loose, you know what I'm saying? And so they was like, all right. So Ross like, whatever. I got you, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, just let them boys take my spot. Let them boys do their thing in my place. And then when I come home, I just jumped in where I left off, like double dutch. So they was like, all right. So I had learned a lot when I went away. And when I came home, now I'm older. And a lot of people would say that time has passed for me because of my age. And man, the game's still going. It's all a hustle. I mean, there's no competition in this lane. If you come in with substance, you come in with metaphors, punchlines, that's a small pocket. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really got too much worry about that. Hey, can we get that thing one time?
Now, the theme of this issue that I'm doing is called I Am the City. And it's pretty much people that I feel like have claimed, not so much so city as in a geographical location, but more so claim their lane. Like we were talking about, you know, staying in your lane, staying focused. Would you say I am the city? Would you claim that title?
I wouldn't claim I am the city because that belongs to Frank Lenny. I claim Royal Palm. I'm Mr. Royal Palm. I'm Mr. RP. Back in the days when we was Jits going to Fort Myers High, it was predominantly Haitian neighborhood. And so the Americans and the
Royal Palm right on Fall Central.
Yeah. See, but that's bad because everybody think of Central, they don't think of RP. And that's because the times have changed, and I can respect that. But Royal Palm the one that started all that. RP, you know what I'm saying? That's where it come from. So that's what the lick is. And back then, we used to be like, RP, I. And so that's where it came from. So when that's the call of the wild, when you see a nigga from Royal Palm anywhere, you're like, RP, I. In the club, anywhere. You know what I'm saying? When you see your fellow brother, and it was like a family. It wasn't like a clique or a gang or none of that. We ain't on that. You got grandmas, aunties, uncles, sons, kids, everybody that was raised on Royal Palm. And so I claim them. I claim my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a product of the neighborhood. We got a couple millionaires out of our neighborhood. Everybody I know off of Royal Palm is independent men, independent women. They run their own thing. They always been their own man. They never been no yes man. They never worked with nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Now let's take us back to your journey. So now you're home and you're saying you're signed independently, or
yeah. So what happened was I wasn't finna work on the music. I felt like, you know what I'm saying, I'm finna help my dog them. God bless the dead, PL. He said he wanted to start a record label. It was TIET Records. So I said, okay, I got your back. So he contacted a lawyer. We met up with the lawyer. Come to find out he worked with my dog Flo Rida. That's my big brother. So, you know, me and Po Boy, we always did work together. I was messing with Briscoe. We did a whole bunch of music together. Shout out to E-Class, Freezy, you know what I'm saying, Flo, Big Chuck. Big Chuck was my mentor at the time. You know, he was a really good dude to me. So anyway, come to find out that's family. Boom, boom. So I hooked him up. We got the label set up. And he was up about a couple $100,000 before he got killed. So he got killed January the 4th, 2014. And it was ugly for me, you know what I'm saying? It hurt me hard. That was a really good friend of mine. And then I really didn't still even want to take the music serious. And then a year later, which was uglier, even worse, because my homeboy New York ended up getting killed. Now he took the music real serious. And when I had started, New York wanted to be my manager. He made sure all my paperwork was together. He made sure everything was together. And then when I came home, I was his manager. I made sure his stuff was together. I made sure he was on point. I shopped his music around, whatever the case may be. And so when he died, I was like, wow, man, I lost 2 a year apart. So now, you know, I'm like, I'm going to live on their legacy. So I was just trying to push their music at first. And then it ended up, it just started evolving to where I had to take the forefront. And I had to stand up in the front. And so I started pushing on my music. And I got a lot of their... Like Pierre had a record label called TIET Records. I had his artists on a couple of records, which is on this project that's coming out in June. New York, I had him on my previous projects. You know what I'm saying? I put him on the album cover and everything. You know what I'm saying? All the proceeds went to his mom. So I did that. You know what I'm saying? But I think that they want to see me win and just hold the block down and represent the hood and represent our clique and represent the love and the unity and the respect we have for each other.
Now, you mentioned earlier that when you went away, when you went up the road, you learned a few things that you brought back with you. So you had a different mindset pretty much coming back than you had going in.
Yeah.
Let me know some of the things that you did learn.
That benefit, law. I learned the law. I learned commercial code. I learned how to write motions. I learned how to write contracts. I learned how law talks. So I implemented that in my music business side, and I learned business.
Okay, so pretty much you learn how to run the game. From being in the game,
right.
You learn how to run the game.
Right, and from becoming somebody who depended on somebody to run the game to actually understanding the mechanics of running it and actually executing on my own.
Okay. Now you said you got a project coming out in June.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that project.
It's called Pressure the Alliance. It's got features with Ball Greasy, Lil Dread, Ice Beam Bird, who else on there? I got Moot Boy on there. That's my dog. Pleasure P. I got High Six. I got J Doobie. I got who else on there? Oh, Dirty Red. Dirty Red is a real instrumental key figure in Fort Myers when it comes to
He's actually on one of our covers as well.
He's a beast, you know, and I had, you know, that's my little Wody, you know, and I want to make sure he get the right deal. I want to make sure he get the right information when it comes to the business side. So I tried to school him as much as I can. But at the end of the day, everybody their own man to make their own decisions. But I think he made the best decision for himself, and I think that it's going to take him a long way. And he lined himself up with some really good people. Shout out to Baby Soldier. That's my new Wody.
You know? I love that new record that they got.
Yeah. And Dirty Red produced that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's my new Wody.
I love that record. So tell me about the project that's in June. Tell me about, like, what's the flow? What can we expect from
Man, it's a Hot Boys type of flow. It's an old Cash Money Hot Boys.
99 and 2000.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Bringing it to up to date, and it's got it's got a message in it.
What's the message? What's the overall message? What's the overall message?
For the youth that are living this lifestyle of crime and murder, the outcome of it. I got a lot of interviews on there with a lot of youth that's 16, 17, 18 years old, and everybody doing 30 years or better. And this is before they go to prison. They giving their testimony on, you know, where their mind was and where their mind at now, but it's too late. They gone. They out of here. 50 years, 30 years, 40 years at 16, 17, and 18 years old. So mine is really targeted to the jits. And I built the songs around those interviews where you hear an interview and then the song describes their mind frame before or at the time that this incident took place that got them in the situation they're in.
Now, being in this life where, you know, where you got to encounter loss, a lot of losses, you know, as far as losing our loved ones or losing them either to, you know, the dirt or to the chamber. Like, how do you get through the pain? How do you get past it? How do you not just throw in the towel and go?
One, you got to be strong. And you got to think of, well, I mean, what works for me is, what would they want me to do? Would they want me to ball up on the corner and cry to, I can't do nothing for nobody else? Or would they want me to stand up like a man and go through the pain and show that you can persevere through pain? You do have to let it out. You know, you have to find an outlet, you know, because you can't keep all that stuff bundled up inside you.
Now, one thing that I want to ask, a lot of times I personally feel like the youth, they're pretty much desensitized from, like, they're numb to it. So it's not so much that they're going through the pain, they're just numb to it and they're not adding value to what it is. What message would you give them in order for them to wake up and realize that, hey, this is really going on and this affects life?
Get off of drugs. Get off of jollies. Get off of Molly.
Perks.
Get off of perks. Because you numbing the pain, you got to get high to go out here and do your thing. You got to get high to whack. But guess what happened? You impaired. When you impaired, you don't see the guy in the cut. You don't see the camera. You don't see the white lady riding past seeing what you was doing. You don't see the scared little girl. You don't see your man. You hit the wrong person. So what happens is when you wake up in that cell and you don't know what happened until that paper comes through the slot and it hit you with all them charges and then it starts sinking in, it's too late. So stay off of drugs, man. Them drugs will kill you, man. Them drugs killing us, man.
And that's one thing I've noticed too. We talked about music changing, and nowadays, like I have teenagers now, and every song that I put in, like 90% of these songs, they're talking about, you know, popping this and popping that, and that's all they're pretty much pouring into these young ones, that drugs is the way. But as the veterans in the game, how do we change that message? How do we bring it back to the real?
Bucks.
This how it go, man. At the end of the day, it's like this. The drugs were in the club. The people were getting high in the clubs. The major artists seen that. They seen what the people were doing. If you get with a major artist, 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you, I only make music for what the streets. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I make music for my fans.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, he got to be in tune with his fans. He got to know what his fans is doing, how they living, what they like and what they don't like for him to make music for them to like it. So when they seen that the fans like perks, they like Molly, they like whatever, LSD, they like acid, they like shrooms, whatever, of course he's going to put it in his music. Somebody put it in his mouth. He liked it too. He put it in the song. Other people who hear him, who look up to him or her, say, oh, this must be the new thing because they like it, I like them, so I'm going to follow with them.
Yeah.
And then
how do we stop that? How do we change the way? Because
show the outcome.
You also mentioned that, you know,
reality is a harsh, that's like a car accident. Reality is a car accident for anybody on drugs and for anybody that's trying to escape reality. Reality is like a car accident. You are being impaired by the drugs, and reality hit you like you impaired, that means you're in a car, you're traveling at a high rate of speed. Reality is that brick wall that you hit, that you can't go no further, and the car crash, you bump your head, the airbags bust, and then you wake up and you're like, oh my God, whoa, what happened to me? Reality is that jailhouse that you sitting in when that man closed them doors, man, you wake up like, oh, what's going? Oh, damn, where I'm at? Because you ask them dudes, man, a lot of them, they'll tell you, man, I wasn't even on my right mind when I did that. I didn't know what I was doing when I did that. So that's reality. Reality gonna wake you up. Reality gonna shake you. So I want you to observe somebody else's reality before that becomes your reality.
That's true. So I feel like maybe the answer is to put that more so in the forefront, which I feel like you're doing with your project that's coming up. Yeah. Go ahead and tell us the name of it again. It's called
Pressure the Alliance.
And where can we get it? Where can we check it out when it drops?
Well, for the first, I don't know, maybe the first 30 days, it's going to be hand in hand. It's going to be on a thumb drive. It's going to be out like that. And then after I make a significant amount of sales from hand to hand, then it'll be on every major platform. You know, I got to deal with Epic, and it's a PV deal. It's not. It's a promotion, publishing, distribution deal. So that's what it is. But that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I just want to put out a message. I'm well off. I ain't really worried about the money. But what's going to attract me? You know, and then I got loyal hardcore fans that really fuck with me. So I'm going to put out some music for them. And that's what they say. All my dogs are Royal Palm. They're like, man, fuck this thing. Make some music for Royal Palm. Make some Royal Palm. Something I can vibe to. Give me that giggity. I'm like, all right, I got you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And so I don't make music for the city. If you listen to the songs, I shoot out Royal Palm on like every song. I put Royal Palm on the map. Even when I didn't want to with this record for the label, my dog Bucks was like, man, you got to put Royal Palm on the block. You got to put Royal Palm in the song. You got to do it. And you got to. It just wouldn't be right. You don't put RP on the song. So I said, you know, talking about RP, doing donuts in a demon like I'm Lucifer. You know what I'm saying? Do donuts on RP like I'm Lucifer. So I just shot the block out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And get on board the shop.
Are you on social media? Or
yeah. IG _real with 2 L's, yummy. And then on Facebook is Yummy4579. That's my name, 4579. Yummy4579.
Tell me about. Can you break down the name for me?
All right. My name Yummy.
Okay.
I'm the 4,579th person named Yummy. And also, I got a 4-5 to kill 7 million people. Don't be the 79th one. Okay. The Yummy part came from my mama. I was legit. I was probably like 6 weeks out the hospital. She feeding me baby food. Okay. She was put me in my high chair. She put the baby food in front of me with the little jars. She turned around to get the spoon. When she turned back around to feed me, I was already in it with my hands. She said, I'm going to name you Yummy. And that's how that name came about. Yeah. And so what happened was I had dreads back in the days. I used to have dreads. I was fresh from out of Miami. I moved to Fort Myers. This is how it worked. I was born in Philadelphia. I was raised in Dade County, Miami-Dade County. And I reside in Fort Myers, Florida. I left Philly when I was like 6 years old, so I don't know nothing about Philadelphia. I know a little bit. You know, the mind frame is there because we was bred into that. But all I know is Dade County. All I know is Miami-Dade County. That's my home. That's my family at. That's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? That's crib. That's the crib.
Do you feel like a lot of people have argued that
these boys on the yard you know what I'm saying? That's how I'm rocking.
I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me. It's your girl, Lady Shell, Ford Entertainment Magazine.
And Yummy 4579.
We're going to leave the definition to that. So you can come up with your own. Go ahead and comment and let us know your best guess.
I. Y'all already know what it is. It's a Royal Palm. Probably.